Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us with another Witch Times Television. I am Goddess Rhonda, and of course, we have with us our beautiful Goddess Starr.
Located just 30 minutes
and
from
Rhonda
Wait,
did
wait,
not
I'm hearing
use
something.
her.
Dodge Ram combines
So
I'm
let me
hearing
see.
something. Let me make sure. Yep.
No, it was me. I got it.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, 1 second. I just turned off mine. I just realized my mute was not on, so I apologize. Hi, everyone. As usual,
Let's
it's a
start
pleasure.
again. Thank you for joining us for another Witch Times Television. I'm Goddess Rhonda, and of course, we have with us our beautiful Goddess Starr.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here tonight. And of course, we miss you guys. Mwah! Oh, my
But
goodness.
yes,
It's so good to be
thank
here
you
tonight.
very much. And, I hope everyone had a great solstice and you got the
Yeah.
holidays coming up. And so we're just glad to be back. Sometimes life happens and we have to take care of things. But anyway, at least we're back now. So, as
Yeah. Yeah.
always, before we begin, we'd like to cast a circle of protection around us. All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, our brothers and sisters. Our brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail our lords and ladies of the South, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of fire. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face the direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is, so mote it be.
So it is, so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the West, our brothers and sisters, our sister and patron, the sacred element of water, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, so mote it be. All hail, O lords and ladies of the North, my brother and sisters. My brother and sister, the sacred element of earth, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is, so mote it be.
So it is, so mote it be. And we now bring down the divine white light from the sacred source of all well-being and fill all of our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is, so mote it be, and thank you.
So mote it be, so it is.
So we are so glad to be back with you, beautiful, gorgeous, divine beings.
Yes.
And we've got lots to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about how you know your spells are working. Can you not think about a spell? But just before we get into that, I saw something, Goddess Rhonda loves her crime shows.
I know, right?
I love those shows. I know I shouldn't be watching them, but I do. And on one of them, the person, the criminal who got convicted was sentenced to life plus 191 years.
Wow.
And I was
Okay.
thinking, obviously, once life is over, where's the 191 years coming from? And I just want a quick opinion. We're not going to belabor this because we've talked a lot about past lives and things. My question is, and what do you guys think? You hear about people who go to jail for crimes they didn't commit. Do you think it could be because in another lifetime they got sentenced to serve time that they were unable to serve? And that lifetime, like this guy, is he going to have to go through enough lifetimes to now serve 191 years?
Wow.
And maybe that's why they get convicted of crimes they didn't commit, because it really isn't about that crime. It's about a crime they committed in another lifetime. So I'm just throwing that out there because I would like to know what you guys think. I think that that could be why so many people that you read about, they go to jail and they didn't actually commit the crime. And I think it could be because they were sentenced to something from another lifetime that they didn't fulfill yet. So what do you think about that, Goddess Starr?
I think that's a little bit of a yes and a no, because we're playing with a lot of things. When it racially speaking, I have to bring that up because it's the truth. Racially speaking, a lot of blacks or minorities get sent to prison right now for many things that they didn't do. So some of that may be from their past lifetimes, and some of that's just straight up what racism is in this country right now, or many other countries for that matter. So yes, some of it could be and some of it could not be. If the person is being justifiably blamed for something and they are, say, of another race, and they are, for whatever reason, circumstantially speaking, everything points to them and they were never even there or something like that, I would say absolutely yes. Because it's not based on race or anything like that. It's based on circumstances, and those circumstances, yes, like how this person is being sentenced to for the rest of his life, and then 199 whatever heinous crime he committed, they've now, without realizing, or maybe they are realizing, that they're sentencing him to further lifetimes of this for this particular crime. It's so bad in their eyes and so heinous that they're contracting it out and making it happen for the rest of the for a few more lifetimes. That right there, 199. Are you kidding? That's
Right.
at least 4 lifetimes right there.
A minimum of 4.
You know, a minimum of 4. So, you know,
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm frozen.
other lifetimes of where, you know, we've either said things in another lifetime, and or like how we've discussed marriages or hand fastings, and people say in this lifetime and the next thing you know, they're wondering why they're still with that person in another lifetime, and they're not in that way or anything like that. So words mean a lot, and for someone to be saying and then 199 into the next life, I would say somebody in there knows exactly what they're saying and doing. Who in that sentencing, because and I always think that they do. I don't think it's being inadvertently done. I think they know exactly what they're saying and doing, because for them to say it into the next 199 years, whatever the crime was in their eyes was so bad that they're willing to take you through those lifetimes to get it to make you pay.
So they're willing to curse you for 4 more lifetimes.
Yes, and that's what I mean. I think that they know exactly what they're doing when they tell you that. Whether it's the person announcing it or it's the people that came up with that sentencing, one of them or some of them know exactly what they're saying and what they're sentencing that person to. And whether that person knows it or not, and that person is probably sitting there going, ha ha ha, I'm gonna die in this life, who cares about the next, kind of a thing. First of all, they may not even believe in the next lifetime. So whoever is doing that came up with that sentencing knows exactly what they're saying and doing.
And don't forget that when the judge pronounces sentence, he bangs that gavel, like bang, like it's final. You know, it's like putting the lid on the curse, and you're done.
Yep, that's all part of the spell. That's all part of the curse or the spell, however you want to say it. That's all part of it. The gavel, if you want to think of it in that sense, whenever a witch, instead of saying so mote it be, gavel becomes that so mote it be, that enunciation, that seal, that whatever. They're putting that seal on it. Yes.
There are witches, when they do a spell, they'll clap or they'll snap, they'll make a sound to final.
Yep, exactly. That is the final thing. And on top of that, when that judge is doing that, so that judge might be somebody that we don't realize is part of a witch coven or something, or a witch in some way. Because when you cast a spell or curse someone publicly with witnesses, definitely that is going through to the other lifetimes. That's a definite.
With witnesses.
You're getting witnesses to agree to this, and loudly and proclaiming it and then gaveling. Oh, definitely. you know exactly what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're pronouncing for that person, whether they know or not. Now, if there's someone who is aware and know, they're sitting there going, "Oh crap." They're shitting their pants right at this point because they're going, "Oh my goddess, I am like," you know what I mean?
Are.
So if the person doesn't know, then la la la, tra la la through the tulips, but they
Yeah,
will
you're
be
like,
paying.
oh, who cares? But
Yeah, I'll be dead. Who cares?
I think that
No, that's not the way it works.
and I do think that it rolls over into those next lifetimes, and they're going to end up in
Absolutely,
jail. And
absolutely.
if they won't know why, they'll say, "But I was innocent. I didn't do it." And the universe is like, "Well, you just don't remember what you did, but we remember what you did, and you've got 4 more lifetimes to go, dude." That's pretty deep. And I've seen they do that. They'll sentence you to life plus 150 years or
Yep. And
things
that
like
takes witnessing. To
yeah.
do those kind of things, you need witnesses, and they got their witnesses right there. So that's like a full-fledged on curse.
That's a hell of a curse. It really,
Oh,
and the
definitely.
guy deserved it. I mean, what he did was just unbelievable. So he deserved
Right,
everything
right.
that he got, and he
And
gets.
he's thinking he got away with it in his head because it's like, when I die, what the hell, But no, they don't realize that it takes them. Having the witnesses is the final thing. That's all part of the curse.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, first, we forgot to raise our glass to everyone. So
Oh,
let's
yes,
raise our
yes,
glass
yes.
to you guys.
Yeah. I hope you
Cheers.
guys are enjoying your summer.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the topics we said we were going to discuss. All right. So our first question is signs that let you know your spells are working, because we have a lot of impatient people, just saying, that they'll cast a spell and 2 days have gone by. Like, well, the spell didn't work. It's been 2 whole days. The spells don't always work the way we expect them to work, but they're typically working, but maybe in a different way. So here's like a weird example, which we might say, okay, Goddess Rhonda, you probably drank too much of your wine over there. But let's say you are casting a spell for a new, better job. And you go to work on Friday, you cast that spell on Monday. And Friday you go to work and you're handed a pink slip and they're like, don't bother taking your coat off, you're fired. In your mind, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute. I just cast a spell to get a better job and a better paying job. Now I don't have any job. Well, perhaps the universe had to get you out of that job because you may have been clinging to it for the money. A lot of people are in jobs they despise, but they stay in the job because they need the money. And so if you have been tethered to a job that's not feeding your soul, and the universe knows it's how you're having a hard time letting go of it, because I know people who will tolerate all kinds of crap just to keep their job because they're too afraid. And so the universe has to say, okay, you know what? The only way we're going to get you to actually look for a new job, because don't forget, you have to do your part of the work too. We don't just cast a spell and then sit back and say, okay, universe, I'm just going to chill out and watch Netflix while you get me a new job. You've got to get your resume together. You've got to submit it. You've got to look for jobs that are within the parameters of
What you're trained in,
you're
yeah.
looking for, or maybe you have to go back. Maybe there's something else you need to do. And so if you're clinging to this job because it's paying you money and you're afraid of moving, then the universe will take that job away from you. And this actually now opens the door to opportunities for you to get that new job, because now you don't have one. So now you're forced to get your resume together, go out on interviews, network, do what you have to do to get that new job. And so you might think, oh, this spell sucked. Not only did I not get a new job, I lost my old job, but the spell is actually working, because now you may look at jobs that you may not have looked at because you were tethered to the job that was paying your way, but not really feeding your soul and not really what you wanted to. A lot of us will express we want a new job, or we want a new love, or we want a new whatever it is. But deep down inside, we may actually be afraid to take that step and to go for change. because a lot of people are afraid of what the future holds. And, understandably, especially with today's job issues and things like that, so many people's jobs are being replaced with the artificial intelligence jobs and things like that. I can dig it. I understand that. But again, that's a sign. If you cast for a new job and you lose your job, that's actually a sign that your spell is working, because that just opened up a lot of doors that you may not have walked through if you were still in that same job. If you might not have the impetus to get your resume together fast enough, or to go on those interviews. You got to act fast when you see a job posting. There's so much competition. And you might not actually take the time to look for the new job, because deep down you're like, well, at least I have this job. At least I have a paycheck coming in. I hate this job, but at least it's a paycheck. Feeds my kids, feeds me, blah, blah, blah. You may still have some complacency going on. But when your job is gone, then you've got a fire under your ass, because now you've got to feed your kids, pay the rent, do everything.
Gotta hustle. Gotta hustle.
And that's going to force the universe is shaking you up to help you to get that job and what it is that you're looking for. What kind of example do you have, Goddess Starr, about not, a sign that a spell is working?
Well, yeah, you mentioned some of the things that I was thinking of, but also I think it comes in big and small ways, or even in some subtle ways. Sometimes, like you said, something drastic happens and it makes them get shoved out there. But also, sometimes you get that unexpected phone call, or sometimes I'm about to even begin the spell and I haven't even started yet, and certain things start happening. Like if you're mentioning the job, all of a sudden a call would come in about something, and they'll say, we're looking for someone for so and so and so. It even happened with me. I was doing it for business, and I never think in terms of jobs, because I haven't had a job per se, meaning that I haven't worked for anyone in so many years that I don't know how to quite do that well. So I'm really bad at that. I'm into the business end. So having people offer me jobs, and I'm sitting there going, that's really nice. Yeah, that would fit me. But thank you. And I look away, because I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I can't work for people, because that is not in my mindset to be there. So sometimes, like she said, even though you may be a person that's talented, if you are with the job part where you've lost your job, sometimes, like it did for Goddess Rhonda, it pushes you from working for someone into working for yourself, into realizing I have got these talents and I will now start working on those to take myself into somewhere else. And sometimes the signs are like Goddess Rhonda said, it's not always the way you are seeing the signs, or it may not be what you're thinking it's going to be, because you may want your idea is that you want a job or ways to make money to bring in for you and your bills and your family and all of that. And the universe is saying, well, maybe this is the time for you to go off into this, rather than you working for someone else. You would do better off on your own. There are many little signs that come, and some of it's big, some of it's small. Somebody might show up out of the blue or call you out of the blue. If it's a love spell that you like when my aunt, I told her, she was just saying, I don't have anyone to love. I'm older now, and I don't have any boyfriends or any interests and things like that. And I told her about a red candle spell to do. And my mistake was I did remember telling her not to burn it more than the 7 days. She kept burning and burning and burning. And she's like calling me, panicking, going, and I'm like, what's wrong? Well, everybody's calling me, my old boyfriend from whenever, and and she's going on, and they kept calling me, and I'm like, how long did you keep it burning? Well, I liked it so much, I kept burning it every week. I'm like, oh my goddess. I said,
overkill.
Yes, overkill. And so everybody came out of the woodwork from her past ex-boyfriends, and everybody's calling her, and she's like, I don't want to go there, So a lot of things will start happening Sometimes all at once, sometimes, you know, it could be so many things. Sometimes you yourself see signs as you walk about the street. Maybe you're noticing certain things, or you're noticing more people out there, where a lot of us walk around unaware of people, if you're doing a love spell, but still unaware of people out there, not even looking. We have to be open for things too. So there are many, you know, I would say there are many little subtle signs, and a lot of it, people would say, "You did the spell for me and it didn't work." And I'm like, "Did so and so happen? Or did so and so and so? Did you observe so and so?" And they're like, "Yeah, but," I said, that's, you know, the universe seeing it for you. Because one of the things I always advise people to do is, when you do spells, don't do it just with you in mind. Say it as well as for the universe, because the universe sees what's best for you sometimes more than you do, because they take a bigger look at the whole picture rather than you with your small picture of it. So when the signs you see are all coming at you, it's coming at you for a reason. And you have to see it for what it is. And maybe sometimes you have to step back and allow someone else to see the signs for you, because sometimes you're just not paying attention to the signs. So
Sometimes
yes, you may call me or Goddess Rhonda and say, so and so and so, you know, is not happening or whatever. And then when the person goes down the list with you, you would see, wow, it's been slapping you upside the head with all these different signs, and you just were not paying attention.
yes.
You know, so spells tend to work in, I guess some people call it the mysterious way, because it does get answered, just maybe not in the right, in the way, not, I shouldn't say the right way, not in the way you expect it to be.
Right.
So, but it does work, and it does
It
come to fruition. It just comes to fruition in the way that's best for you. And it's usually what is the right way for you. And you're thinking you know best, but it's kind of like, I always see spells like you're watching a movie, and we're watching that movie, and the universe now, the universe is now that movie where it sees every single aspect of it. And you're watching it and going, so now you know what's the different things that's going on. But in real life, you can't see all those different aspects because you're that one person. And that's why we allow the universe to help us make that decision and make it come out better for us, because
And you
it
know
sees the bigger picture.
even using that movie example, I've watched a movie and gone back and watched again and saw things I didn't see the first
Yep,
time.
many a times, many a time.
It's like, I don't remember that happening.
I know, exactly. And I'm like, wait a minute, when did that happen?
Did that happen? Did they
You
just
know,
put that in there?
there are
You know,
so many things.
there's so many things. And then another thing that's an example also is, for example, one of a client that I have is entering into the energy healing field as a Reiki practitioner, energy worker. I'm not quite sure what her modality is, but she has been trying to do that, and she had even found a space, a salon that was going to take her and allow her to do the work. And we were both very excited, you know, and things like that. And then she came to see me, and she says, "I don't understand. You know, I did the work. I got this job. They were supposed to, you know, bring me into the salon. But now every time I try to call the woman who owns the salon, she doesn't have time to see me, or she's very busy, and I haven't had a chance, and it's been, you know, like a month or so, and, you know, I'm not getting anywhere with this." And so I said, well, you know, a lot of times delays are for a reason. Oh, there you go. So like, I can't see Goddess Starr, but there she is.
I had to go get some more wine.
Oh, good for you, Goddess. So let me give you a little toast there.
Yeah, cheers to you guys.
If anybody cares, I am having organic strawberries, organic watermelon, and organic wine blended together. It is freaking delicious. I know that's not what we're talking about, but I'm just saying, don't hate. Okay, just say it.
You know what that is, though, right? She didn't tell you the rest of that. That is, I think it was the recipe sounds like something for a love infusion, because wines are all parts of spells and they're parts of infusion. And I'm listening to her tell me when she told me earlier what's in it. I'm like, that's a bloody wine infusion. You know that what that is, right?
It's good though. It's so good. Anyway, okay. So anyway, I digress. So getting back, what I was saying was, so anyway, I was sitting there and I was talking to her, and I said, okay, well, let's take a look at this. I said, a lot of times delays happen for a reason. And so, we've got a bunch of planets in retrograde. There's a lot going on. I said, so this is the time when actually what you should be doing while you're waiting, because she already said she would allow you to work out of her space. And I said, are you ready to do that? And she goes, well, I have to still buy a massage table. I said, okay, well, you still need to do that. I said, are your business cards made yet? Well, no, not yet. Okay. Do you have any brochures explaining what you do? No. All right. If someone were to ask you what's the difference between a 15-minute session, a 30-minute session, and an hour session, what are the differences in that? I haven't thought that through yet. I said, okay, so then what you're really telling me is you're not ready. And so the universe is stalling this woman to give you a chance to get your ducks in a row, to get your business cards made, get your brochures that explain everything that you do made, determine what your pricing is going to be. For, not everybody has an hour. You've got to be able to do 20-minute slots or 45 minutes, an hour. And they're going to say, what's the difference? You need to be able to explain what treatment am I going to get in 20 minutes as opposed to the treatment that I'm going to get in an hour, because people are going to want to know, where to put their money. So what you're really telling me is you're not ready yet. And the universe is stalling for you, making this woman busy or saying she doesn't have time to talk to you to give you the chance to get your ducks in a row. Because if she says, okay, let's come tomorrow, you don't have your massage table, you don't have any business cards, you haven't decided what candles and things how you're going to decorate your room, you have no brochures, and you're unable to explain what it is that you do. That's not the way we enter into a business. And so you're actually fortunate that the universe is stalling for you and sent you in here today to talk to me, because she was very upset. But then by the time I finished explaining to her, she's like, wow, I was just so eager to get started. She forgot about all the business stuff you have to do first. And so that is a sign that her spell was working, because the universe came in and said, you better, go over there and talk to Rhonda. We're going to stall her for a while, but you need to talk to somebody about this. And they sent it to me, and I'm like, sweetie, you're just not ready yet. You've got a bunch of things that you need to do. So now is the best time while she's busy and she can't talk to you right this second. Get on to Vistaprint or whoever you want to do your stuff for you, or create a publisher and go to Office Max, have them printed out. But your spell, everything is working. It's just that the universe is putting everything on hold, waiting for you to catch up. So you also have to think about that. And I've had that happen to me, where there was things that I wanted to do and I was very eager to get it done. And then I realized, you know what, I didn't take care of A yet. I didn't take care of B or C on my list. I need to do these things first before I jump into something else. I'm not ready yet, and I have to tell myself that and fix things. Because I get very eager. Once I get an idea, I want to run with it and I want it to work right away. And I just want to jump all over it. But there's always prep work. Just like there's prep work you have to do for a spell, there's prep work that you have to do for the outcome that you're hoping for.
Yeah.
With your spell. So even if, if the universe is on delay and you're like, oh, it's been a month and nothing is happening, then you have to sit back and ask yourself, okay, is there anything I could have done within that month that would have helped me? And, this young lady, she's very eager. She's very talented. I'm sure she's going to do very well for herself. But she didn't even have her massage table yet. And she was ready to go to work. And it was like, you have to buy a massage table. You can't explain what you do to people. You don't have anything yet. You're not ready. You don't have your website up. And so you want to take care of those things first. So that can be the universe delaying, not because they want you to sit there twiddling your thumbs. They're like, okay, you're just not ready yet. Let's get you together. Maybe you need to take a class. Maybe you need a business license. It all depends on
what's necessary. Yeah.
To do. If it's a love spell, maybe you haven't quite gotten over that last person yet.
Yep.
And the person's going to say, well, why should we bring you Mr. or Mrs. Right? And you're still pining away for somebody else. They could walk right past you and you won't even notice. The person that's perfect for you could sit right next to you at a bar or in McDonald's or somewhere else or on the bus or in a cab and start chatting you up, and your mind is on Tom or Susan or whoever your last boyfriend or girlfriend was, and still pining over that. And then the perfect person for you gets out that cab and it's like, okay, well, bye. And you missed it because you weren't paying attention, or you have not, taken the steps. Because a lot of people especially here in New Mexico, where relationships seem to be extremely important, which I don't know. I don't get that. I'm a New Yorker, like you got a Star. Business is more important to me. It's like, we have to take care of business first. This
I
time,
know that's so bad, right?
I'll think about a love life. But here, love lives are very important, especially to the women. In fact, I've actually had women say to me that they are nothing without a relationship. That is what they feel here.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Oh my goddess, no. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine that.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine saying those kind of words because I can't even imagine the thought of it.
I actually have an ex-friend, and I'll say, because she's not my friend anymore. In fact, she dumped me as a friend because she was so insecure about her husband. But she actually, her second husband actually beat the crap out of her daughter, her teenage daughter. And the teenage daughter went to go live with the grandmother. And I said, why didn't you throw him out? And she goes, well, no, because then,
okay,
my daughter would grow up and then I'd be all alone and I wouldn't have anybody. And I just kind of took her head off about that. But anyway, so we have that here. And so
my mouth is still hanging open here. I'm so sorry.
I'd like to tell you
I was ready to reach through the channel and find her and smack the shit out of her for that one. No one touches my kid. Are you kidding me? No one touches my kid.
I would have killed him.
Not only that, I would have killed him and throw his ass out the front door. Absolutely. Are you kidding me at this point? You don't touch my kid. Oh, forget it. He wouldn't even have been able to touch her. No. I would have knocked him out before he got there.
He'd either be in jail or dead or both. So
yep. No, it wouldn't be happening. It's okay.
A lot of what goes on here. And so, but a lot of women, I don't hear this too much from men, but a lot of women will get out of one relationship and they are ready for the next one the next day. It's like they don't allow themselves get over it time, recovery time to be who you are. Again, when you've been in a relationship for a long time, you can lose part of your identity. You may become Mrs. So-and-so or mom or whoever, but when is it time for to be you again? When after my husband passed away, it took a long time for me to be Rhonda, to discover who is Rhonda. I haven't been Rhonda in a long time, just Rhonda by myself. And so I had to rediscover myself. And so there are a lot of people that will get out of a relationship and they are ready for the next one the next day, even though their pillows are still wet from the tears that they cried last night for the person that they just got out of the relationship with. And so they're like, well, I haven't found any. Do you have anything? What's coming up with my love life? What's coming up? It's like, dude, you need some recovery time. Take some time to be you. Rediscover yourself. What are your hobbies? What are your hobbies? I don't know. What did you like to do when you were a kid? Well, I used to like to paint. Well, what happened? Why did you stop painting? Well, I got into a relationship and I started working. I said, okay, why don't you start painting again? Why don't you become you again? Discover who you are first. How are you going to be in a relationship when you don't even know who you are? You can't even tell me what your hobbies are. Or what
you are, yeah. That's kind of sad.
It's very, but that's where the universe will again put things on hold because they say, look, I've got the perfect person for you right here. But if I bring him to you now, you're not even going to notice him. Or you're going to screw it up because you're tethered to somebody else and your heart is not free to offer this person who's offering their heart to you. So you do have to, if you feel like your spell is not working, there is some self-examination.
Many reasons, yeah.
That need to be done. I want to take
part of the thing is you actually said something really brilliant about all of that, because in general, I think not just witches, but not just people, but witches in general, I think a lot of people do not ever think about actually, that whole thing on television that they do, that's a spell where you see the girls are all sitting around in a circle and the girl that got hurt is crying and she's taking the picture and cutting it up and put it in, burning it and all of that. That is a ritual of release, letting go, moving on. Witches or people in general need to do that. When you have had a relationship that went bad and you broke up for whatever reason, whatever it is, that's a grief in itself. And you have to do some sort of a releasing ritual so that you could then learn how to be on your own, like Goddess Rhonda said. And if you're not even doing that, and all you did was, like she said, cry on the pillow, and the tears are still wet on that pillow, and that's all you did, you're never going to be quite ready to move to the next person or the next phase in your life. You have to go through these different griefs and rituals of things. Every human being goes through rituals, and they go through those rituals for a reason. It's like a release and a let go and all of that. And if you don't do it, and those phases does not go the way that you want it, then you will be this person that keeps going into this cycle of really bad relationships.
Yes.
Never quite getting where you want to be, or the kind of relationship that you really want. And like you said, and that's the truth. A lot of, I don't know, there are many men and women, it's not just women only, but men and women that don't know how to be alone, just know themselves, really want to be alone and know themselves. They're almost afraid to do that. And you have to the universe is going to, at some point, the universe is going to say, no, you need to take care of you first. You need to learn to love you first. And then we can go on from there.
Right. And so they put you on delay.
Yep.
For a reason. There's a reason the universe will put things on delay. And sometimes just a little self-examination will help you with that, especially with love affairs, because, I'll see, just like you just said, you'll go through one bad relationship after another. And what I have found is that I'll have people, it's like they're dating the same person in a different body. They just keep choosing. They can't have the person that they wanted in the first place, who dumped them or did whatever it is that broke up that relationship. So they start looking for men or women
exactly the same. Yeah.
That person, and that relationship ends. And then, you could say, you know what? If you lined up all of your past boyfriends, they look like they could be brothers. They all have the same attitude. They all have the same look. They all have the same personality. You're dating the same person and expecting a different outcome. When you're really just dating the same, you're drawn to that personality, and obviously that personality is not the personality that harmoniously meshes with you. So you have to, you'll have people that will come and say, oh, all of my relationships suck. They all used me, or they all did this, or they all did that, and they all did this. And my answer is, it sounds like you're choosing all the same person, but in a different body or in a different guise. And that's where we have to now redesign the type of person you're truly looking for, because you keep living the same old relationship over and over and over again with different people.
And expecting different results.
Expecting a different result that's not
going to happen. And I will tell you, with situations like that, the universe will step in and give you a timeout. It's straight up. That's what it's going to do. It's literally at some point it's going to just kind of go, enough.
Right.
You need to sit. No more spells. You can give all the spells in the world right now. That's it. You're on timeout until you learn to deal with you.
Right.
And that's how some of the spells, and that spell is working. You may not be realizing it's working in a way that's, again, the universe is looking at it on what is right for you.
Right. That's it.
And if that means giving you a timeout, then that's what it's going to do. Got to see things for what it is. It's looking at the bigger picture and what your needs really are. And what it is that your need is wanting at that time, what it needs to have. And sometimes that means to stop. And like Goddess Rhonda said, be on your own, learn to love yourself, and learn how to be that better person. And a lot of things will change and fall into place.
And
that happens. You ever notice that people who do love spells in particular, you ever notice it's a constantness? They're constantly needing to almost like feed it.
Mm-hmm.
That spell, because that's what they think is necessary or what is needed to make it come up the way they want it. And love spells does not work that way. It does not need to be fed. It does not need to be rushed. It does not need to be guided, because a real love spell will do what it has to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A real love spell will do what it has to do. Just give it time to actually work.
And patience is a big thing with spells. It really is. Because the spell is working. If you have the patience with it and you look at everything and basically almost like an abstract manner of where this is not for me, this is a spell and I want to see what's going on with it. And that takes a lot. That's very difficult for a lot of people to step back from a spell and look at the whole picture of it and see where it's going so you can see how it's helping you.
And, and another thing is, and I'm going to use myself as an example. No, I don't mind using myself as an example because I don't want it to seem like we know everything. I want you to know I'm
hell no, we don't.
Vulnerable
hell no, we don't.
as everybody else here. So I use myself as an example. Just recently, there's a lot of things that I want to do, and it's actually going to take an astronomical amount of money in order to do them. But there's also a part of me, maybe it's from my old Christian background, I don't know what it is, that I wouldn't ask for that astronomical amount of money. So I'm like, oh, I'm probably not going to get that much, so I'll ask for this much. So I started doing, my spell work, and I said, okay, I'm going to ask for this much. And a voice in my ear said, how much money do you really want? And I was like, well, it's a lot. How much money do you really want, Rhonda?
Do you really?
And so finally, I won't tell you how much it was. It's not important. But I finally said, well, this is how much money I want. Well, then they're like, well, just say so then. How are we going to help you if you're too chicken to ask for how much money you want? You have to put, the emotion, but you have to put behind it. This is my guides that scream at me sometimes when they're trying to teach me. They're like, ask for what you want. Don't be afraid.
Yes.
Don't cut down on it. Don't assume you can't have it. Because when you're saying, oh, baby, that's too much, then we're going to say it's too much and we're not going to give it to you because that's what you think. And we're trying to go along with what you think. Say what you want. And I said, okay, well, here's what I want. And I reconfirmed the spell to be how much that was. Now I feel, very confident in saying this is what I want. Maybe it's, I won't get it tomorrow, but I'm going to get it because the universe said, okay, thank you for being honest. Now we can work on your plan because now we know what you really want.
Right. And you know what? That to me tell everyone how it works for us as well, because we teach a lot of these things, but we ourselves, because we are so busy doing everything else, we start doubting what we can and cannot do and what we can and cannot accomplish. And when we sit back and really think about it, really write down all the things we've accomplished, and we're like, wow, I can't believe we did that.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we ourselves are doubting ourselves, we know it can happen to any of you because we all are very human. And yeah, we doubt ourselves, we doubt the spell, whatever it is, but we really have to learn how to accept the power that we have. Accept the universe is going to do the best that it can for us in a very neutral manner. See, that's the part. We don't know how to be neutral. We as individuals don't know how to be neutral. And the universe does. So that's why when you do the spell, let the universe do it for us. We do the spell and we do the footwork and the real world and everything else, and we leave it up to the universe. Let it all fall into place. Because if we don't do that, then we all start doubting what we can and cannot do.
Exactly.
But pay attention to what is being said or done, or the people around you, or even running into people or talking to people, or us on the show with you guys. Certain spells you've done and whatever it is, and maybe we are answering some of it, and you kind of know, oh, that's a sign from one of the spells I was trying to do. Because they got us, Rhonda and got us, Starr just said some of the words to what it is that I was trying to do. You just have to learn to listen and be patient. And really, if you're leaving it up to the universe to kind of guide you with it, then know that that neutral party is being there for the benefit of you. And that comes through your guides. Your guides, telling you, ask for what you really want. Stop mincing the words.
Quit sticking around. Say what you want, because otherwise,
how are they going to know?
And then that also falls back on, I'm like, well, it's an astronomical amount of money. That can also translate it. Do I feel like I deserve it? Do I feel like I can handle it? There's a lot of translations with that. And they literally yelled it because they're like, how much do you really want? Because they know what I want. They're not stupid. I'm like, well, it's a lot of money. How much do you want, Rhonda? Well, it's like, how much do you want? Say it. So I was like, okay, I want this much money. And they're like, well, fine, now we can work for you, quit dicking around.
Yeah.
And how my guides talk to me, and that's, maybe they're nicer to you, but sometimes I do have to get my ass kicked, because if I truly want what I want to get done, then I have to say, and I really do want to get all this. It just seemed like it was so much money to ask for. But it's because it's going to be allocated to, all kinds of different things. It's not like I'm saying I just want all this money so I can go buy a yacht and float on the oceans. I'm going to be working for the rest of my life regardless. If it's not for money, then towards my cause and missions and helping people. But I needed them to say, quit dicking around and just freaking say what you want. And so you want to do that too. You don't want to be afraid to say, well, I need $20,000 for a new car, but $20,000 probably seems like too much. Okay, I'll ask for 10, and then I can use 10 to put down. No, if you need the 20, say I need $20,000 for this car that I need, or for this car that I want, or for my business to start, or for whatever it is. It might sound ridiculous to you, but the universe will take you seriously, but you have to be honest and say what you want. And so now I have no problem declaring how much money. Now I expect them to give it to me because they made such a big deal about it. So now I'm waiting for my check because they made such a big deal about it. But I wanted to use myself as an example. And so before we move on to our next topic, let's go ahead and take a look and see what our lovely people in the chat room, our chat room family, has to say about all of this. And of course, we're happy to see all of you, all of our beautiful friends and family that we have. We've got our JK, and we've got someone, Grand Madame. Good to see you. Glad you to join us. And we have our goddess Monica, and our goddess Judy, and our goddess Peggy. We've got our people here. So we're going to start off. We started off with the person who got sentenced to life plus 190 some odd years. And Monica's like, that's a difficult past life hex. Yes, it is. And JK says, racially is huge in this reality society. I've heard too much that whatever happened in past lives are meant to stay there. Then again, that may not apply to everyone. You never know. Because actually, you know what, JK, I don't believe that whatever happened in past lives are meant to stay there, because people do, and Goddess Starr and I have talked about this a lot of times when we do marriage ceremonies or hand fasting.
Yeah.
And people will say, this goes beyond death. This is forever. You've made a declaration that you have tethered your soul to that person forever. And you don't forget, in each lifetime, you have the same soul. You just have a different body. So that soul remembers and may take you up on that, on what you said. So you want to, be careful with that. And then Monica says, Paul Manafort, if convicted, is up for 309 years. Good Lord. How many lifetimes is that? Like 6 lifetimes that he screwed. Maybe he deserves it. Hey there, Goddess Raven. Good to see you. So Monica says, are judges accidental witches? Is their gavel wands? Yes. They might not know it.
Absolutely. Some of them knows it and some of them don't. But the ones, I don't know, the ones that say give a sentence beyond this lifetime, I somehow think they know. They know something. Because for you to say, in this lifetime the person's going to die. Right. So for you to say, about 309 years or and 199 years beyond this, what you're saying.
Right.
I do not believe that they do not know what they're saying. I think they know precisely what they're saying, and they have decided they are going to curse that person to those lifetimes because they deserve it.
Yes, I believe that's a deliberate.
And whether some of them are, I believe, accidental witches with that, and that's forget. It's more than with their gavel. Their gavel is, and look at the gavels are all wooden, right?
Yes, they are.
They're all wooden, and there's a lot of power in that gavel, and the way once they've proclaimed it, bam, and it's public witnesses to this curse. There's a lot of power, and they don't even realize it. They realize it in the sense of there's a lot of power in what they say and do, and their sentencing in this lifetime. But the ones that don't know and sentencing to the other lifetimes, they gotta know something.
Yeah.
Because why would you insist on other lifetimes?
That's
They
right.
either believe in something, or they know something, or they know that they're publicly cursing them.
I agree. I agree. They do that on purpose because you have to know. Okay, life plus 191 years. Really? How is
Really?
that really going to affect?
Because then you would have ended it with life, and that would have been like, I'm giving you this sentence, and that's it. But when you go beyond that, you bloody know what you're saying. You know exactly what you're saying. And then it's further, it's one thing to say in this lifetime and have the witnesses. When you start saying other lifetimes, like, more than that lifetime, and having witnesses, and then the gavel, that is a multi-curse. That's a
Yes,
curse for lifetimes to come. Whatever body you take, you're going to pay.
you're going to
They
pay.
are that angry with you, and they are cursing you into those lifetimes.
That's right. That's
with
right.
witnesses.
I disagree.
And the witnesses are their power. The gavel is the one that nails it like a coffin nail.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And then we've got Monica, who says, "Oh, so when we smack our heads and say, 'Oh, I'm so stupid,' you're cursing yourself." Yes, we do that to ourselves all the time.
All the time.
I'm so
Sometimes, and that is why,
Yeah.
that whole thing, when people say, "Oh, I've been cursed by so and so and so," half the time, or more than half the time, you look at them and then you start dissecting things, and you're like, I hate to tell you this, but you kind of cursed yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We as witches or non-witches curse ourselves all the time.
All the time.
Naming you're the one that berates yourself the most. Whether you verbalize it or not, you're saying it inside, in your mind's eye and all of it. And you're saying these things, so stupid. If you're going to say stupid, don't say you're stupid. Say, I cannot believe I said that stupid thing. So the thing and the object of whatever it is what was stupid, not you. That was a stupid thing to say. Words are very particular when it comes to cursing. So and that's why the judges, they're big time with that. And they don't, whether some of them know it or not, they're big time. They're cursing like
Right.
nobody's business. But yes, whoever said that, was that Jakey that said that about snapping their heads?
That was Monica.
Monica, yes. Absolutely. And we have to stop.
Absolutely. And
We
I
have
know
to stop denigrating. We actually treat ourselves with disdain. We denigrate ourselves. We curse ourselves. We put ourselves down. That's called self-abuse.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
abusive. We have to stop abusing ourselves.
we
And
do. We
abuse and curse ourselves.
Or at least if you catch yourself, like I always will add something to it. If I catch myself saying,
Yeah.
"Oh,
I'm sorry.
I can't believe I forgot to do that, Stu. I'm so stupid." But you know what? I'm still awesome anyway. I might be awesome. I'm awesome. I'm fabulous. I'm wonderful.
I have a tendency to, I'm going to go beyond that. I have a tendency, if I say it inadvertently, I say, no, I'm not. I am not stupid. It was just a stupid thing I did. Because I am so against us cursing and abusing ourselves that even though you're saying the awesome right behind it, you already said that first part. That was the first thought. So then either you take it back and you say the words, I take that back. I am not stupid. I am awesome and all those things. Because once the words have been said, even though you're saying you're awesome behind it, you're still going to remember that first thought of what you said about yourself. People do that all the time. They remember it.
I won't take things back though, because if I already put that negative energy back there, I don't want to put that negative energy back to myself. So
Right.
I'll just send that. I send that into the universe because
that's a good one. That's a good one. Or not taking it back into yourself, but I take back the choice of words that I said.
Right. Change your choice of words. I mean, you have to be mindful of
your words,
what you're saying, because we do that to ourselves. We curse ourselves. We body shame.
Yep. Oh my gosh, we do body shame ourselves.
In fact, I meant to post this thing on my page and I forgot. I'll have to dig it up. This woman I mean, she's a young woman too. She's a young woman in her 20s, but she's boob heavy. And so it bothered her that she couldn't look like a Victoria's Secret model because she didn't have the small perky boobs that they have. She had her boobs. And she finally got tired of body shaming herself, talking about, oh, my boobs are saggy. I have saggy boobs. And she created a website called Saggy Boobs Matter. And it's for when she quit wearing bras. And she's like, I'm not going to be defined by my boobs. I'm not going to let people. And she said the backlash that she got was horrible.
Really?
How awful she looked. She didn't have a bra on. And she needed to raise them up. And, you know, her goal was she wanted to have, and keep on, she's only in her 20s. She couldn't wait to get a job that would allow her to have her boobs lifted. And I'm like, and then she realized, she's like, you know what, screw that. There's nothing wrong with my boobies. Everybody's boobies are different. And so she made this thing, Saggy Boobs Matter. And she promotes that. And she goes around talking about that. We as women should not be defined by the size of our boobs, big, small, saggy, whatever they are. You know, it is what it is, especially, you know, if you've had kids and your boobs aren't what they used to be.
So
What? You know, you're
kind of confused though.
These are
kind of confused. What was the part that created the backlash? I'm kind of confused.
Oh, well, she started a website saying Saggy Boobs Matter. And she had pictures of herself in clothing without a bra on. So, of course, you know, because, you know, a bra pulls you all the way up like this. And so her boobs, well, you know, they weren't pulled up. They weren't that perky because she's breast heavy. And so they did hang down a little bit. And she got all these comments. You need to put a bra on. That looks disgusting. One guy, a rapper or something, even had a picture of her and gave her like a 0 rating because of her boobies. And it was just, and then she called him out on it and he apologized. But the backlash was she's trying to not have to wear push-up bras and things and just wear clothing that'll go along. I mean, she didn't look slutty or anything. She's totally covered up. But she's not as perky as a Victoria's Secret model would be, or one of the people you see on television. And people actually put her down and told her she looked awful and she needed to put a bra on or she needed to have her boobs lifted and she didn't look right.
You know what's funny? A lot of those things were initially what men said to women years ago, because there were no such thing as bras or any of those things. But as time went by, men said those things. Women objected at first. And then after a while, women fell in line with it. And the fact that as women fell in line with this, and everyone considers that's the norm for beauty. So anyone outside of that go back as a throwback, basically, are looked down upon and body shamed. And I don't understand how women have now turned on each other. And rather than standing up for one another, they have continued the body shaming that men started out to do.
Yes. And this girl, she looked perfectly fine.
And I don't understand it.
She looked good in her clothes. I thought she looked great. And she had women, of course, writing, you need to put a bra on.
Women are the worst with each other.
Blah, blah. And, you know, I thought that was just awful. Here's a young woman who's trying to promote positive body image to other young women who feel like they don't measure up. And instead of being congratulated, she had these women put her down and body shame her. But she didn't care. She fought back. And now she's going around, you know, the country and talking about it and blogging about it. And I think that's great. And I'm really glad that she's in her 20s and teaching it to young girls before they get 40 and start complaining about their boobs.
That you got to give her credit. That takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, perseverance. I'm proud of her, you know, for standing up, and instead of body shaming, she's saying just be yourself. Before we were put in onto all of these braces of what we should and shouldn't do.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just interesting that if we study our history with a lot of things that women are body shaming themselves about now, these were things that men used to say that to be in our eye of what we consider worthy of even going with you, this is what you have to look like. And women back then, like Susan B., and they objected to it.
Right.
But women today have not only buttoned down on it, but they've agreed with the men now. Wow. How far we've come and how far we've fallen, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
very,
what I wonder
actually
about us.
a very sad commentary.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
We're going to get back to our chat. So we've got here, Peggy says, I watched a video of how you carry memories from ancestors. Yes,
Yeah.
we do have ancestral memories. I wonder sometimes, a lot of times we are our own ancestors getting back to past lives, but I don't want to talk. We talked a lot about past lives, so I'll just keep rolling. We've got Monica who said, that happened to me. Goddess Rhonda cast a spell to get a better job, then lost my job. Took 2 months. Good things take time. There you go. Peggy says, that's why I've been in this job for years. I need the money and the insurance, etc. I can dig it, Peggy. How I know how that feels. Monica says, tarot is great for guidance and a reading from you, Goddess Rhonda. The spell won't work unless you do. Even with the universe will smack you in the ass. And it's true. You have to, we have to do our part too. We can't just sit back and say, okay, universe, here's what I want, and I'm just going to go over here and have a cup of coffee and a piece of cake while you take care of that for me. That's not nice. You can't ask people to do your stuff for you and then you don't do your part. It's just rude regardless. Monica says, a car accident made me quit. The universe doesn't play games. Listen, I've talked about in my book what I went through to making the transition from a mortgage underwriter to what I'm doing now. So I can totally dig it. Monica says, LOL, get yourself some, Goddess Star's auntie. We're cheering for your aunt, Goddess Star.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. She was like, I don't know what you told me to do, but I followed it. And the thing is, I burn it every day. I'm like, oh my goddess, please stop.
There you go.
I said, honey, you better stop.
Good for her that she got her groove back on. I'm glad for her.
Yep. She got her groove back all right.
Let's see. We've got Arlene who says the good thing is the job thing is true, but for me, getting a job that is a good fit has been over 10 years of being underemployed, underpaid, and abused a lot. I'm beginning to think that office work is not what I should be doing, but I don't know where to go from here. I took some diagnostics based on temperament, and I will do this skill scan to see if that can help. Honestly, prayed for right people to come on my path to help guide me to what I should do. Wow, I have had that kind of experience with the book I am writing. Oh, okay. So let's hey, Goddess, you're saying the book that you're writing. If that's what you're supposed to do, then that's what you should be focusing on. Or you should, feel free to see me or Goddess Starr, set up appointments with us or whoever you like. Because I have plenty of people that come to me, it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I let them know through cards or looking at their palms or whatever. We let them know and get them on a path so we can help you with that as well. But I like that you're writing a book because that it might be what it is you're supposed to be doing. We've got Jake Key who says, Jake, Goddess Starr, everybody wants to know what your wine is. Are you going to tell them tonight? Are you going to be kind and tell them?
Jakey's funny.
I don't think she's going to be telling you, Jakey.
No, because I've had it go in and out of not, like last week it was gone. And I'm standing there going, okay, Trader Joe's, what the hell? Come on. Where's my wine? And I went back every day and I finally came 2 days later. I was like, I started hoarding. They have no idea what's going on and why is it this wine keeps selling out. I'm like, You
went without your wine for like a month, didn't you? It was a long time.
Hold on 1 second. I lost you with the earpiece. Sorry, what did you say?
I was saying you went without your wine for like a month, right? It was
Girl,
a long time.
It was almost a month. It felt like a month, but it was like 2 weeks.
But no, really, it was just 2 weeks. It seemed like it was
2 weeks. But it felt longer because I was just like, what the hell are you guys? And I kept going every day and they kept going. They see me coming in and they go, sorry. And then they said, finally, we saved you some on the side because we knew you would come stalking us.
So we've got Goddess Arlene says, so for my 50th birthday, I went to Philly, booked a hotel room and went across the river to Trenton to get my hard copy of the application. Also get more information on the process adoptees have to go through to get their records and how adoptees are still treated like third-class Citizen, sorry for charging out of the gate at full speed. Hi, everyone. I was listening on my phone and this topic really resonates with me. We're with you, Goddess Arlene. Monica says, yep, your spell won't work unless you do. And Arlene says, I'm struggling with getting a better job. Every place I have been has told me to rework my resume. My work history is horrible, 10 years of temping. It's really hard to make it look good. I disagree. If you've been temping for 10 years, it means you've been working for 10 years. And you haven't been sitting on your ass doing something. You know, maybe they've been temp jobs, but you have been working. And to present it, you know, if you say, well, I've just been a temp worker, you know, a lot of times our attitude will say a lot. If you sit up straight and say, yes, I've been temping for 10 years, and through that temp work, I've learned how to do this. I have this skill. I have this skill. So actually, it's almost been like going to college and learning while I've been doing this. Now I'm ready to put all those skills together and work for a permanent job.
It's how you approach it. It's how you approach it.
You know, I always will stop someone who says, well, I'm just a housewife, or I'm just
Excuse
a...
me?
You're not just...
Girl, please.
That drives me crazy when you say, well, I'm just a... Whatever you're doing...
There's no justa with that one. There's no justa anything with that one.
So, you know, if you go in there with the attitude that, well, you know, I've just been temping for 10 years, and then they're not listening to your words. They're looking at your attitude and your body language. But if you go in there walking straight and say, yes, and in these 10 years through temping, I've learned this, I've got this skill, I can do Microsoft Office, I can do Excel, I can do all these other things, and now I'm ready to put all these skills that I've learned to good use with a permanent position, and I'm ready to put those assets to your job, and you won't regret investing in me and my experience. That can actually get you the job. We've got... So don't say your 10 years of
anything, yeah.
Is you worked your ass off in those temp jobs. I've had temp jobs. You have to work harder in those just to keep them to prolong the job. You're a very hard worker. And so you should be very, very proud of how far you have come. Let's see. Jennifer says, I met him this weekend, but he had a girlfriend. Okay. Let me see if I might have missed something earlier, unless you're saying, because I don't see anything earlier, unless you're saying you feel like you met Mr. Right and he had a girlfriend. I'm not quite sure if that's what you're saying, beautiful goddess. You can let us know if that's what you're saying. So then we've got, let's see, Arlene says, don't get me started. I did an unhexing because I have a deep regret for a spell I did when I was in my early 20s. Then this guy comes into my life and I have no feelings. J.K. says that attitude of not being able to identify as a woman without a significant other is very, very strong here where Rhonda and I are. J.K. lives in Albuquerque with me, and it's bad. Then J.K. says, I was guilty of that in my youth. It's indoctrinated into you down here. You see, in New York, it's like you better pay attention to your paper, your money, and then everything else can come after that, because you can't, you know, you don't have the luxury of sitting around pining for love. You got to pay a lot of stuff out there in New York. Let's see. And Monica agrees. Yep, it's a tragedy. And Arlene says, I have so much trepidation when it comes to getting involved with men. I lost my ability to trust after being kicked out by a roommate, betrayed by my family, and sexually assaulted when homeless. That's terrible, goddess Arlene. But you know what? All that tells me is that you are a badass. If you have survived all of that and you're still standing, then you are a supreme goddess of badassery. And I tip my hat and raise my glass to you.
There you go, girl. There you go.
I admire your strength. You're an excellent example. And I hope you're writing. That's what your book is about, is maintaining your strength in extreme circumstances. Monica says, I went to school with someone. His mom was with someone whom... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm scrolling. It's doing the scrolling thing again. Okay, bear with me because now I have to find out where I was. I'm sorry. It really scrolled far, too. Let's see. No. Okay, I went to school with someone. His mom was with someone who molested her daughter, and she chose to stay with him and have another son, even when the state took her daughter.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Why? I don't understand these women, these type of women. I just don't. I never will. I never will, because that is just, no man or woman means more to you than your kids. None. There's nothing to discuss, nothing to talk about. Get your ass out because I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
You want to live? You better leave.
Yeah. And my mother always said, she said, Rhonda, if you can't get them when they're awake, then you get them when they're sleeping. If
Damn, they better go to, they have to go to sleep at some point.
Sleep sometime. And then she said, you get in, you start boiling up your pot of grits. My grandmother and my mother, they had all kinds of things. Go boil
that
up
will stick to their ribs.
That's what she says, because grits will stick to you.
And burn like hell.
And it was like, oh my God. But I would do that if I had to, and I would not even blink an eyeball. Let's see, where are we? Okay, we're scrolling around here. Okay, we've got a tremendous amount of comments here. And so here, let's just take okay, so our goddess Arlene is saying, I want to have my financial situation sorted out, but it hasn't been good for a long time. To get involved would be sad and boring because I want to pay my share. I don't want to be solely financially dependent on a man. Good for you. This flirt may not be on the up and up, owns a boat, yet has no money to do stuff. Yeah, because all of it's going to his boat. Boats are expensive. Peggy says, I had a 20-year marriage and I'm still single almost 5 years later. And that's okay. Take your time. There's no rush. Arlene says, I got divorced in 2000, but I had no long-term relationships since then. I'm still finding myself, says Peggy. That's good that you're finding yourself. Oh, you know, all of you guys are doing the right thing. You're trying to get your ducks in a row before you embark on a relationship. So you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You're trying to get yourselves together and love yourselves and things like that. I think that's a beautiful thing.
And one of the things I will say, when it comes to relationships and when women are going through that phase of taking care of themselves because they got out of damaging relationships or whatever type of relationships, whatever the universe has decided that time-wise that you need, it could be 1 year, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 15 years. Whatever it is, that's because that's how long it will take you to get where you need to be that person that when the next person comes into your life, whatever that partner is, they better step up.
That's right.
And the right way, because now you are you and you have these standards. You are way up here with what you want and your needs are. And if they're even right here, you're like, I'm sorry, don't have time. You really do not have the time for any of it. And however long it takes, that's what it is.
Absolutely.
You're not going to settle. You're not going to any of that. And there is no time span for what you need. That's the one thing people, well, I had a year or I had 5 years or whatever. No, whatever time is needed for you to be the way you need to be, that's what is needed. You know, don't let anyone put a time span on you other than you.
That's right.
Okay. And when it comes to, say, women deciding about, not just women, people in general, talking about jobs or businesses or whatever it is, try not to settle for the things that, you need to pay your bills and all of that. You can do that on the side. You can do that as the job, the full-time job or whatever it is. But in the meantime, work on the other things that you need, because you need that. That's your passion. That's how you persevere through it all, going, I'm doing this job right now because of all the insurance and everything else, but I've got my book going. Or
right.
I'm getting my ducks in a row with my business of what I want to do. And even if you don't know what it is you want to do, start writing down. You may think you have tempted all that time, but do you know how many skills you've picked up that you can now take and turn into a business?
That's right.
That tempting could get you into maybe a secretarial business service or whatever type of service that you can offer. But now it's on your terms and you're invoicing them.
That's right. And, you know, with today's technology, we have a lot of virtual assistants.
Yes, virtual jobs and all these different things. Are you kidding me?
That you can do out of your house. So,
yeah,
if you know, there's a lot.
Since this whole new thing with the person in the White House saying about people getting that big bonus, I know personally so many people that got that bonus and are now jobless.
Right.
They're in an office 20 years, 15 years, and suddenly they got that bonus. And next thing they know, they called them and said, sorry, it's severance pay. You no longer have a job.
Right.
And they're sitting there in shock. Okay. So now they're sitting back going, I'm this age right now. What do I do? And it's not a job market great for people over a certain age. So you have to look at your skills, and you've got skills. I don't want you guys to think you don't have any skills. All of you have some sort of a skill that you can market. Make it work for you. Make it persevere. You've gotten through all those times knowing on your skills. Don't think that your skills can only be marketed to those people with their jobs when you could take those same skills and turn it into a business. Those same exact skills. And you've got a ton of skills. Start writing down a list of all the things that you know, and then go, how can I market myself to make these skills work? You've got all these things. Don't let anyone put you down and make you think that you do not have skills. You've got skills. You've been paying your bills all this time.
Exactly. And it sounds to me, it sounds like you're writing a book on, maybe you had to go through all of this to write a book of inspiration to other people because you lived it. And so now you're going to go and write a book, and you're going to inspire other people that may have had a hard time getting a job, or whatever it is that you're going through, all the things that you have gone through and are still standing. Maybe the universe designated you to use your story to inspire who knows how many thousands of other people through the book that you're writing. So there was no waste. The universe does know what it's doing. We might not agree with what the universe does, but it does know what it's doing. I want to move on to our next topic because I see that, as always, the time is getting away from me, getting away from us.
Yeah.
Our next topic is it really possible not to think about a spell after you cast it? I've heard so many people say, well, after you, and these are the people that their way is the only way. Your way doesn't work. You have to listen to what their way is. Otherwise, your life is a waste of time because you're not doing it. But I've read so many things where people will say, well, after you cast a spell, you're never supposed to think of it again. And some people can do that. And if you can do that, right on. I'm the type of person, if you tell me not to think of an ice cream sundae, the first thing that's going to pop in my head is an ice cream sundae. And it'll get stuck in my head, and I'm never going to get it out of my head. And so, yeah, I'm sure that there are people that can cast a spell and not think about it. And if you can do that and that works for you, that's cool too. But if you are the type of person that you can't just not think about it, you walk into the room, you have a 7-day candle, the candle's burning, it's a constant reminder. I think it's okay to think about it as long as you're giving it good energy, sending good thoughts to it. You walk past your candle, hey, thanks, element of fire.
That's what I do.
I know you're working
past that candle.
Smile, hey, to me, you're reinforcing what it is that you're trying to say, and that's okay too. I gotta start. Can you not think about a spell after you cast it?
Not really. I mean, I have not been able to do that. But what I do, other than say, for instance, I casted the spell and I go, okay, I know you're going to work. I see the outcome. I walk away. Excuse me. A bit tired there. And I walk away. But like you said, every time you pass by, because my altar is right in my bedroom. So I have to pass by that altar every day, every time I walk past to the door. So every time I pass by that spell, as I'm going by, I remember what it's for, the goal I'm trying to achieve. And I say, thank you. I know you gods and goddesses are working on this. Thank you so much. I already see it coming out. So no matter what anybody says, you have to be stone cold, not being human, to not think about it in some way. Because even if you think about it for that 1 second to say thank you or whatever it is, you're still thinking about it.
Right.
The outcome, the whatever it is, or how good it will be once that outcome happens.
Right.
Things like that. You have to, it's just what it is,
Right.
And I think what they may be speaking about is cast a spell and walk away or not think about it. I think they're thinking in the sense of people who negate it. And there are a lot, I understand, because a lot of people would cast a spell and then they're thinking about it in the negative sense and negating it. Should I have casted that spell? It's not going to work. You know, yes, there are people that do that. And yes, the idea is for you is to forget about the spell, let it work its way with whatever it is, because we don't want you to negate your spell from the very beginning, nullifying it. You know what I mean? But if you're someone who is accustomed to doing these spells, like we witches are, we will be thinking about it. We will acknowledge it. The spirit tell our spirits, you know, a spirit guiding us and saying whatever it is, and we're working on that spell. Like you said, I want this amount of money. I'm not playing around. This is what I need to do this particular thing.
Right.
You know, we will think about it, and we will even. I have created whatchamacallit, watches that go out and say, go tell me what you find out about this particular spell of what I need to bring certain things into fruition. I would use whatever help that I need to get what I need to have the result that I want. You know, you use things as you go, and that spell becomes one thing that you began, and you keep going and going with that spell to make it even better. So I don't know, honey. I can't say that you can, and I don't think that you should.
I don't think that you should either, personally. You know? But I think it's real.
I don't. I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to teach what I practice. So if I practice acknowledging it and saying, yeah, I know you're working on this for me, or whatever it is, then I turn around and tell them, forget about it and go on. That's kind of like, you know what I mean? Do as I say and not as I do. Come on, really? I can't do that to them. I have to tell them the truth. Come on, girl.
I'm laughing because Goddess Monica says, LOL, that's what happened in the original Ghostbusters movie. They were supposed to clear their minds, and the one guy thought of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man who then, like, decimated the city. And they're like, did you think of the Stay Puft Marshmallow? That is actually
that is true. That is true in that part.
That is so true. And Arlene says spell work isn't like a Ronco rotisserie. You can't just set it and forget it. No.
Exactly. Exactly. She said it exactly. Set it and forget it. Forget that nonsense.
No. You know,
I would even walk by and I'm like, thank you, Goddess. I know you're working on it. You know, I talk to it.
Yeah, you know what? And not only that, Goddess Starr, I think that that's only polite. You know, it's, you know, you set your thing up and then it's like, okay, I want you to do this work for me, then you ignore it. I think it is polite to say, you know what? Hey, element of fire, thank you so much. Yeah. I know you're burning, you're helping me. Here's a little present for you or something. I'm so grateful. Thank you for working on this for me. You know, I think it's rude to just put a spell up and then ignore it for 7 days like it's your slave. You know, I don't treat deity that way or the elements.
Yeah. You gotta acknowledge them and thank them and, you know, work with them. It's just like with anything else. I mean, you gotta think of spells in the sense of you. How would you feel if you're that deity helping you through that spell and you don't acknowledge them at all?
It's rude.
And like, bitch, you really? I'm working this hard for you, and you can't even say thank you. You can't even acknowledge that I'm working on this for you. Are you kidding me at this point?
You can't. No. It's rude. I think it's rude. You know, so people think their work energies are working for you. You can at least acknowledge them and say, thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for working for me today. Thank you for doing for whatever it is you did for me yesterday. Thanks for what you're doing for Liv. Thank you.
I advise people when I send out spell works to people of the different spells I'm doing for them. I advise them to do these things because this is what I do. And they work for me. So I advise them to think about every time you see it there and it's working, say thank you, you know, like whatever it is. And you know, I'm sorry, I'm going to advise what I do.
I agree. All right. We're going to roll forward because we're doing good. And if we're lucky, we can finish it. Working with the daily energies of the sun. So the reason that we put that one up there, Goddess Starr and I, we did that one because, you know, we spend a lot of time in our spirituality. We spend a lot of time focusing on the moon
Yeah.
And, working with the moon, the waxing moon, the waning moon, and that sort of thing. And I know a lot of people, they're like, oh no, it's the waning moon. I can't really work on my money or whatever it is that I
Yeah.
want. And I'm like, well, first of all, the moon is not the only planet out there that you can utilize. And the sun comes up every single day. And I feel bad because I don't think we acknowledge the sun enough, because the sun represents wealth, success, healing, protection,
Happiness.
happiness, financial prosperity, optimism, hope, leadership, authority. I mean, it's like all in one package. And we spend a lot of time talking about the moon, and the poor sun is like, well, what am I, chopped liver? I can do some work for you guys too, And so I just thought we should touch on, working with the energies of the sun, because the sun can pretty much handle whatever it is that you're looking for. And the sun rises every single day. It doesn't wane. It doesn't wax. It's always the same sun. And so what you might want to consider, like, there's different things that you can do. Not only can you make your orange candle to get a new job or find a new love or whatever it is. I like to use the energy of the sun, because think about it. Without the sun, we wouldn't be here. We need the energy of the sun. If we didn't have the sun, the plants would die. We would die. Everybody would die. We need the sun.
I need that.
And so it's important to me. What I like to do, especially if I'm aggravated or under the gun emotionally or disgusted or whatever, not feeling well or whatever, I actually like to fill my soul with sunlight. And it just knocks out any tiredness or depression or anxiety or frustration. And it actually fuels me. And I have it come in and I have it fill my whole soul and then spread throughout my whole body so I can keep rolling. Because I battle chronic fatigue. And so I'll get tired a lot, but I don't have time to be tired. I have stuff to do.
Yeah.
As Starr will say, Goddess Starr, I talk about this all the time. We don't have time to be tired. We don't have time to be sick. And we're not going to let our challenges, our health challenges, stop us. Because to us, they're just challenges and we can overcome a challenge. We're just going to keep rolling with what it is we have to do. But I have found that working with the sun, it really helps me, especially if I feel depressed. We're going through an issue in my family now with my dad, who's in a nursing facility. And, you never want to see your parent in a nursing facility, but he really is at the point with his Alzheimer's that he needs a constant 24-hour care that we couldn't provide for him. But still, there's things going on with that, and it's very depressing when you think about it. And so I don't have time to be depressed. Not only do I have to get my own stuff done, but I have to be upbeat and encouraging to my clients, or doing healing work on them. I don't want to put depressed energy in there because I'm depressed. I find that using the sun and filling my soul with it, filling my whole body till I'm just like feeling like I am brimming with sunshine, and I am putting out sunshine that's helping me and helping other people. I have found that to be really helpful. Do you use the sun?
I work with whatever is there, hon, because the sun.
I love how you said that.
I do. I am that. Without realizing it, I consider us to be the warrior witch. So that means if I have to use whatever it is, all my gifts from my past lifetimes, if I have to use, as people may think, what do you call it when they say that you are taking up someone else's racially, what do they call it? I forgot the words they use when you're taking up someone else's, like if I'm Black right now, I'm taking the Celtic tradition. Yes, cultural appropriation. I'm like, all of that is such BS because to me, I see it as this. If I have been around for all this time, many a millennia, many a centuries, many a races, many a lifetimes, that means all these gifts that I had in my other lifetimes, I'm supposed to not do it because I'm Black right now or because I'm white right now? Are you bloody kidding me? I am going and grabbing all of those things from all those lifetimes, from all those past, from all whatever it is. They are my gifts, my talent, and you are not, or anyone else are not going to tell me I can't. And I am going to use them all because I want to be that badassery, that badass warrior witch. So who's going to stop me when I'm going to learn all these things? I'm not learning it from other people's traditions. I'm learning it from my past lifetimes.
That's right.
From my. That means, who are you to tell me that my past is not telling me these things? You know, I don't know who are these people that dare to deign to tell us what we can and cannot do. So I am going to learn and use whatever it is, and that includes the sun. And yes, to a lot of people, and I think I know why, a lot of people do not like to use the sun much, is because to them it represents the God. And a lot of people are coming from the Christian religion of where it's the God mainly and not the goddess. And I see it as a neutral thing or a balance or an even thing. I worship both the God and the goddesses.
Me too. You have to do both.
But we know that there are many that say, well, I'm only with the goddess, and more power to them. But to me, I don't like to limit myself. I will work with and whomever and whatever it is that I have to, because my gifts are placed in all of it. And that means the sun is all part of it. The moon is all part of it. The sun is always there, no matter what. Even when the moon comes up, the sun is still there. And vice versa.
Right.
So
right.
I am not allowing any of it to be designated to wherever and whenever, and I will utilize all of it. So yeah, because that sun, if you really think about it, a lot of people are afraid of the dark because they can't see everything properly. That sun will come in and let you see, shine a bit. That like that flashlight you've got on your phone, and let you shine a little bit and see what's there. That's what I see the sun as. So I want to be able to see clearly the path that I'm taking and what I'm doing and how to combat certain things. So I'm going to use, like I said, I am going to use whatever and whatever deity, whatever it is. I am not, nothing's good. My arsenal is all of it. That's the way I see it. They're all my allies. So I am not,
And we are both divine feminine, divine masculine.
Yeah.
Many of us will do more work to promote the goddess because what we're trying to do is bring in balance.
Right, exactly. And and the thing is,
but we're
but the thing is that we can't bring the balance if we ourselves can't find the balance within ourselves.
That the sun, Athena is the sun. There are lots of sun and the goddess. You can do both. You just we do, as you said, we may have a tendency to limit ourselves. But there are plenty of goddesses who represent the sun, especially the Egyptian goddesses.
Yeah, they don't play.
Them represented the sun. So you can still work with goddess energy and the sun, but the sun is there everybody stop what you're doing, leave the moon alone and work with the sun. I'm just saying that I know of many people who have said, well, I can only work from the new moon to the waxing moon to gain what I want. And then I can only work from the way on. I have to wait 2 weeks for the new moon.
Yeah.
For gain. No, you don't.
I've heard people say that nonsense too. I don't mean to call it nonsense, but I've heard that and I kind of walk away because a lot of them, when they say those things, you can speak till the sun come up, literally. And they believe this, so I'm not here to convert anyone to my way of thinking, but it works for me. And in no way am I here to convert. I'm not Christian. I'm not here to convert anyone to my belief system or my way of thinking of it. But I have instilled this in me. And my whole thing is, as when I was a Christian, it limited. I don't like being limited.
I don't either.
Placed in a box and said, this is all you're allowed to do and do, whatever it is. The minute you try to do that to me, I have a tendency to want to box out of that. So if I am a witch right now, and I will always be, I've been over 35 years now, been who I am. Actually, 45 years, sorry. I'm older than I thought. But anyways, I'm not going to go to the age thing, but I am who I am in the sense of being is that I'm not limiting myself. Everything and anything on this planet If I am near it, if I'm in New Orleans, then the crocs and the alligators, not the crocs. Crocs are no, Australia. Alligators, whatever it is, they're all part of me and what I'm going to absorb and use.
Absolutely.
Everything, mummies, Egyptian, whatever it is I have to use and work with, I am going to learn, and I'm going to work with all of it. We have to all learn to accept all aspects of ourselves. If we don't, then we are the ones limiting ourselves. No one else is doing that to us. We are.
That's right.
And I have given myself permission to take on everything, learn everything of all my past lifetimes, take all my gifts on from all of those lifetimes and utilize them.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't believe in cultural appropriation. I believe I've already been every race and every culture.
Yeah. So what am I taking over my own things and I'm culturally appropriating? Are you bloody kidding me at this point? Anyway, you and your limitations, not mine.
Yeah. Yeah, your limitations, enjoy them, but don't put them on me.
Yep, you keep them.
You know, we wanted to bring that up because there are so many people that only do magic like 2 weeks of the month, because it's like, okay, you know, because most people are casting for gain. And so they're like, okay, it started the new moon and we're going to go through the full moon. And then for 2 weeks, you're twiddling your thumbs like, okay, what do I do now? It's like there's so many other planets out there that you can work with that you guys aren't doing. And especially the sun is there
all the time.
The sun, even though we might think of the sun as a divine masculine, let's remember all the goddesses that work within it. To me, the sun is masculine and feminine.
Yep.
You know, to me, all of the planets are. We are all feminine and masculine energies. And so feel free to get your orange or your gold, yellow candle rolling and utilize the sun. Get up and say, hello, sun. Thank you so much. You've warmed the earth. You know, even if you think of it as a divine masculine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine work together. You've got the sun warming the earth, who is a divine feminine. And in return, the earth produces the food and things that we eat. And they work together in harmony to keep us alive and rolling. We can't do without the earth either. You know, if the earth suddenly, something happened to the earth, we'd all be dead. If something happened to the sun, we'd all be dead. You know, we have to work with both. So by all means, if you're one of those, and I'm not saying you are, or you have to change anything, Goddess Starr and I would never try to force you to think the way we think.
No conversion here. Sorry, not Christian.
We're merely pointing out to you that you can do work for gain more than 2 weeks of the month. And don't forget the sun that's out there every day and represents just about everything that you want. Go ahead and utilize that, or give it a try, or at least maybe start to develop a relationship with the sun and sunlight, because we need, especially now because we're in the season of the sun. So now's a great time to do a little sun ceremony, or, you know, get to know the sun, because the sun really is awesome and has helped me tremendously. And last but not least, I can't believe we're going to finish this. I'm so proud.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
I know, we can do it. How to enjoy nature when there is little around. Okay, so one of the ways to enjoy nature, aside from growing, you know, plants, and my house is full of plants. I have to have plants everywhere. In every room, there's plants that I have to help me, because I don't have a problem enjoying nature. I live in New Mexico. But in my old apartment, where I didn't have a lot of sunlight coming in, you know, it's a little bit harder, especially out here too. If you want to think about it, it's like over 100 degrees here. So it's not like you go strolling around out there. You'd be like dying of heat stroke or something like that. But one of the biggest things is a lot of people like, well, you know, I live in an urban area and we don't have greenery and we don't have this and we don't have that. And I say one of the best places, one of the best things to do with that is not so much, you don't necessarily have to see it. Sometimes I just sit back and let the earth energies come up and envelop me. I love just sitting in earth energy. It feels just marvelous. And there's plenty of nature right here up in your head. If you have to, you can take a journey to the most beautiful park that you want to go to, the most beautiful hiking space that you want to go to. Your imagination is one of the best ways for you to experience anything that you want. Right now, if you decide to put yourself on a beach and hear the lapping water and hear the seagulls flying, you can do that. If you want to just draw a tub full of water and put some blue food coloring into it so that you can pretend you're in the beautiful blue ocean, you can do that. You can create nature in your
Sorry.
mind. Did you go away?
Girl, I went to hit the button to open the screen up wider, and instead I hit the...
Oh, I've just been babbling away here about nature and going on journeys.
Girl, yeah, you covered all my things then.
I'm just babbling. So anyway, we wanted to also express to you that because we do know that there are people that live in urban areas and it's difficult for you to, in that urban area, to get to a beach or to get to a garden or to get to a space where you can really sit back and enjoy nature. And so as I was saying, I feel that one of the best ways for you to do that is in your mind. Because not everybody can plant a garden, not everybody is good with house plants and things like that. I know people are like, oh, whenever I have a plant, I kill it or anything like that. If there are parks around you, go ahead and take some time to go and sit in a park, just to lay in the grass. Or you can even grow some grass. I grow cat grass for my cats. And you can actually, because it's so easy to grow, you can actually get yourself like a bigger tub, a plastic tub to grow the grass in, and stick your feet in it. You can stick your feet in it or just fill it with earth and let the earth energies rise. Or when I'm in the shower, I commune with the water like I'm standing under a waterfall. There's just so many ways that you can do that. What are some of your techniques, Goddess Starr?
Well, one of the things is that I love to go out to like Tompkins Square Park, or Tompkins Square Park is one of my favorite places. I have a tendency to go there, and we have a particular tree that whenever we do our moon rituals or Sabbat rituals, we talk to this tree. It's a giant tree, and it always feels, it's very masculine tree actually, and it always feels like it is protecting us and guiding us. And many of us put both our hands on him or foreheads on him, and we talk to him. I have a tendency to take my shoes off and might wiggle my toes in the grass there as well. Whatever you could find, you can actually, people say they don't, especially in the cities like New York and things, people say, I don't have many places that I can feel nature. Like Goddess Rhonda said, if you can't do the plants at home, which honestly, I'm surprised. 2015 is when I was in the hospital and I came home with some plants and I still have them with me. So I'm really shocked because I was never a green thumb kind of person, but they're still here. But I do talk to him a lot. And some of them, one in particular is male. I know he's a male plant. He's like, he reminds me of a peacock. He's like to show how pretty, don't I look pretty? So every morning I have to say how handsome he looks.
Oh.
Every morning I have to say how handsome he looks. And he just I can see him, you can almost see him preening. Thank you. I know I look beautiful, and I'm like, oh, he's so full of himself. Yes, I'm talking about you. But anyways, so I've got that plant. But in New York, and I don't know about you, wherever you are, if you cannot be outside or in different places, people forget that our walls, especially if they're brick walls and whatever, they all came from the earth. So if you can hold on to anything, wood floors, brick walls, whatever it is, try to find a way to commune with it, to feel the energies of the earth in it. Because no matter what, all those things that help hold our walls up, they're all part of earth.
Right.
So touch it, feel it, find a way to commune with it in some way because it's there. It keeps you from the elements outside. So find a way to do that, or even with your house plants, whatever it is that you have to do. Some people have known that brought in dirt from outside. And every night I know some people that would stick their fingers in it and kind of go, oh, I feel the earth. I feel the earth. There's some people that I know of that are bedridden, and that's what they do. People would bring that earth in from outside, and they will feel the earth and gather the energies that way. Whatever you have to do, find ways that works for you. No one says there's no set way of doing any particular thing other than doing what's right for you, that works for you. If it
That's
works
right.
for you, if it works for you, more power to you. You know, as long as you get something from it that benefits you in one way or another, that's all that matters.
There you go. All righty, we did it. We actually did all of our topics. I'm very proud. And I actually got to copy finally the entire chat, so I can put, because we didn't get to go over all of our chats like we normally do, because we're trying to get everything in. So I'm going to put the chat into our Witch Times Television chat room, which hopefully, if you do not belong to, by all means, go on Facebook, go on to Witch Times Television. Also, hey, before I forget, you know, they wouldn't let us change the name of our page. So we had to start a new page. So please go to our Witch Times Television Facebook page and like our page, because we need to get more likes, because technically it's a new page since we couldn't get our other page up. So please go to our Facebook page.
That's terrible that they wouldn't let us change the name.
They wouldn't let us change the name. So, you know, whatever. It is what it is. So if you could like that for us, that would be great. And of course, we want to wish everyone a very happy full moon, which is
yes, please.
Wednesday.
Yes.
And so with all that said, I know it's 11:30 on the East Coast, so we're going to let you lovely, wonderful
people get some rest on the East Coast. I'm tired. I have to admit, I'm tired.
I'm really tired today too, but I tell you, we were going to do this show regardless. You know, I had something come up, an emergency come up last week that I couldn't do it, but now we miss you when we're not here. You know, we're a family, and we feel like, you know, this is like enjoyment for us. We're chilling out with our friends and discussing all kinds of things. So, you know, we do want to express to you our love and our appreciation for you, and we thank you for your patience and for your support and the wonderful energy that you provide for us, even the knowledge and wisdom, because you teach us.
Yep, absolutely.
Your stories, and you encourage us and inspire us, and we love you to pieces.
Yeah. Okay.
And so with that said, we say merry meet,
merry part, and merry meet again. And love you guys, and we can't wait to see you guys, okay? And take care. And I can't wait to see some of you guys at Witches Fest, and Goddess Rhonda and I are both going to be there.
We're going to be there, so be there or be square.
Yeah. All right. Love you guys. Take care.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.